Good evening, everyone. So please, we turn to page 5. Do a little bit of reading first. Today we're going to chapter 2, interacting with others away from home, or in the earlier version, it was about fraternity, siblings love, the relationship between brothers and sisters. So we're going to start with Rule 65, okay, and we're all together. Okay. Older siblings should love. Let's start. Older siblings should love and care for the younger ones. Younger siblings should love and respect the older ones. Getting along well with one's siblings is a sign of respecting one's parents and caring that they are happy. When siblings value family ties more than possessions, resentment will not arise. When siblings are careful with their words, feelings of anger naturally dissolve. When drinking, eating, walking, or sitting, let the elders do so first. Younger ones follow. When an elder is asking for someone, find that person right away. If we cannot find that person, we should immediately report back and ask if we can help instead. When addressing elders, do not call them by their first name. When in the presence of an elder, do not show off. When meeting elders whom we know, greet them promptly and respectfully. If they do not greet us in return, respectfully stand aside. If we are in a vehicle and see an elder whom we know passing by, we should get out and greet the person if the situation safely allows. We continue on our way only after the elder has left us. When an elder is standing, do not sit. When the elder sits down, sit only when invited to do so. Before an elder, speak softly, but if our voice is too low and hard to hear, we are being improper. When meeting elders, walk briskly towards them. When leaving, do not do so in haste. When answering a question, look attentively at the person. We should regard our aunts and uncles as if they were our parents, and our cousins as if they were our siblings. Not bad. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about chapter 2, how to interact actually, first of all, with our brothers and sisters, and how we can apply the same spirit when we live away from home. Just curious, how many of you are the sole child, is the only child in your family? Just one? Okay. Now, I've often heard people who say that when they are the only child in the family, there are a lot of things that they did not learn growing up. Because being the only child in the family, you get everything. You don't have to share with anybody. But as soon as we have brothers and sisters, we must share with other people. So it is important that we know how to deal with our brothers and sisters. And as we deal with our brothers and sisters, what are the things that we must bear in mind? Now in Chinese, we said 兄友弟恭, meaning that an elder, should treat the younger ones as if what? As if they are friends that they should take care of. Okay, so the elder ones treat the younger ones in a very trusting manner. Let the younger ones be able to trust them. Actually, the younger brothers and sisters usually would trust the elder brothers and sisters. When we were growing up, we always look up to our elder brother and elder sister. And coming from a big family, I came from a big family. I have 10 brothers and sisters. I am number 9. So I'm fortunate enough to have all these brothers and sisters, ahead of me, and give me a lot of valuable lessons in life. So I learned to be able to actually live better with older people. I have 2 younger brothers. I'm the youngest daughter, and I have 2 younger brothers. And I found that because I have been kind of taken care of by my elder brothers and sisters, so I was able to also take care of my 2 younger brothers as well. So how did we look up to our elder brothers and sisters? My elder sister, for instance, now my elder sister and us has a big age gap. There are 11 of us, so you can see the age gap is very big. So some of the stories were told by my other elder brothers and sisters, because when this was happening, I was not born yet. So I was told that my elder sister would go around telling my elder brother's classmates. She would tell them, "Don't you dare to bully my brothers. I'm the sister." She being, in a higher class, taller than the younger guys, so he would tell them, "Don't you bully my brothers." So she was very protective. And as for my brothers, especially my third brother, he was the one who gave us a lot of childhood joy because he made toys for us. We were not rich enough to buy toys, so he made toys for us. And for instance, when we watch a movie, the martial art movie, he had very vivid imagination. So he came home and took out the wooden cartons, the wooden crates. We used to have wooden crates. He would take out the wood and start using a knife and carve the wood until it become a sword. So he would put two pieces together and make a sword. And then he would tell all of us, "Okay, gather around." So he was our leader. Gather around. We are going to go and fight those people from the Ermei mountain. We don't know. We didn't know what is Ermei mountain. Okay, and what was it about? Apparently there were some evil people. According to him, was some evil people. I mean, we were just little kids, and so we would follow him. Follow him, and to the back alley. And they were paving the pavement in our back alley. There were little pebbles, heaped in little heaps. So those were our mountains. So he said, "Charge!" So he told us, "Say charge!" Then we charged. As we charged one step, we fell back one step. Why? Because they were just pebbles. It wasn't even soil. So we climbed one step and we will fell back one step. But it was full of joy. So charge. We didn't even know what his charge was. "Chung ah!" Then as we reached the top, everybody was kind of still fumbling around. He said, "See, the enemies are over there. Let's go and get them." And then we then ran down. And they say, "Here, you see the enemies?" Well, no, I don't. But as if, wow, yeah, enemies everywhere. So, but there was only one sword. He only made one sword for himself. Okay, and he will lead us, and he was doing this ting, 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 ting. And so we, all these little boys and girls, were following him, doing this ting, 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 fighting in the air. So you can see the way we follow our elders and brothers, we imitate. So your elder child actually play a very important role in the family. He sets the example. Okay? And I even saw a little kid kept on following his brother. It was in Club Med. His brother tried to get rid of him, but he would keep on following him. Yeah, take me there, take me there. I said, can you get out? I don't want you. But this little guy would keep on following his brother. So when his brother was playing table tennis with me, so he stood aside, kept on cheering on his brother. So with this childhood memory, first of all, for an elder, that's why the elder siblings always bear the responsibilities. They have more responsibilities because they are the role models for the rest of the children. However, the eldest one sometimes also was the most spoiled because he or she was the first one to come out. How was it? Do you remember your first child when he or she comes out? You were full of joy, right? You never had this experience before, and everything was new. It was exciting, adventurous. So for most parents, they would give the best to this kid. But the second one, how do you feel? Well, it's another round, right? So you're not as excited or as as eager to look forward towards it, right? Unless, of course, during your first pregnancy, you're already very fed up with your husband or your family. And then it makes you very angry. Okay? Otherwise, normally, the first pregnancy, you have a lot of expectation for yourself. And when he comes out, it's like a bundle of joy. Okay? And when the second one comes out, sometimes the first one may get jealous. The first one, they could not bear the fact that somebody else now share the house, share the toys, and especially share the attention. I once have a Canadian friend who told me this story, and I still think it's a great story. She said she has a friend who told her this fictional story, but it was such a great story that it's worth listening. She said once upon a time there was a Mrs. Dworkin, and Mrs. Dworkin has a son, and her second daughter was just being born. And Mrs. Dworkin's son one day came into the kitchen and told Mrs. Dworkin that Mrs. Dworkin, the baby is crying. And sure enough, Mrs. Dworkin could hear the cry. So she went in there, look at the baby, pat on the head and calm her down. And then Mrs. Dworkin went back to the kitchen to work. And then after a while, the son came in again and said, by the way, he called her mother Mrs. Dworkin. He called his mother Mrs. Dworkin. That Mrs. Dworkin, the baby is crying. And the mother, the baby is crying. So she went in there again. Yeah, sure enough, the baby was crying. So she calmed her down again. Then she went back to the kitchen. Then she was a little bit curious at that time. Why did my son always was the first one to report to me about the baby crying? So instead of continue cooking, she sneaked into the room where the baby was sleeping. She found the son taking a potatoes and hit the baby, until the baby cried. So he would do that and then go to the kitchen and tell the mother, Mrs. Dworkin, the baby is crying. So the Mrs. Dworkin had to explain to him, hey, this is not a good thing to do. Just because you have a baby, a sister, it doesn't mean that mom will love you any less. You must always assure the elder one, especially the first one, that we don't love you any less. We still love you a lot. Okay? It doesn't mean that your baby sister, your baby brother will take away any love from you. But of course, our parents, if they are not, have time to have this kind of education or have the patience because they were brought up like that. You know how some families, They were brought up like what? Hey, what do you do there? Stop it. Get out. Never do that again, huh? Always just yelling. Or maybe Mrs. Dworkin will slap the son or beat up the son. Right? So instead, Mrs. Dworkin, told the son, don't worry, we still love you very much. So it was an assurance. Why do children feel insecure? Because they need to feel assured. They feel insecure because nobody gives them the insurance, the assurance that they are loved. Why is it important to love children? Because children who are without love will walk a life that's going to influence him or her for a very long time. This type of people tend to be insecure, prone to jealousy, and wanting for love or control. They want to control the situation. They want to change things because they want to get the things that they did not have when they were a child. So it's very important to stroke their head, to carry them, to assure them. Keep on telling them that you love them, they are worth something. If they make a mistake, that is the perfect time to teach them. So there was this story about a mother, and he asked the baby, his young son, to take the milk, right, to take the milk in the bottle out of the refrigerator. And then he heard his son drop the bottle, and the milk spilled all over the floor. Now, if he was your son, what would you do? Ask him to take the bottle of milk, and then he dropped it. And you are very busy in the kitchen. What would you say? The first reaction, you will scold him. You scold him. Now you are very sensible. You say, I know I will not scold him. I will explain things to him. I will say that it's okay. But your first reaction will be what? Jeez, what did you do? What did you do? You can't even what? You can't even do such a simple thing. Worse if it's not the first time. You say, how many times I have told you? How many times I have taught you? You never listen, do you? You never learn, do you? That's what we like to say all the time. How come you never listen to me? Now, you'll never listen to me. Let's count how many times was it. Most were you 2 times? 3 times? Now, that's not never. Right? We look at ourselves. How many times we forgive ourselves? Maybe always. Not never. Right? So, words like that, instead of scolding her son, she walk over there and say, oh, what a beautiful clouds they are on the floor. Look at all these beautiful clouds. Well, they're white patches. So the mother said, oh, look at all these beautiful clouds. And look at them. Okay. What do you think? What does this look like? What this cloud looks like? What does that cloud looks like? So the son, instead of being fearful, start look at the milk. Oh yeah, they look like a cow. This one looked like a sheep. Everything that was dear to him. Okay, so he said, look at it. Then the mother say, let us clean up this first, because just like in the nature, the cloud will disappear. No cloud will stay forever in the sky, son. So let's do the trick, like the wind, use a mop and mop the clouds away, just like the wind blew the clouds away. So they were playing, right? Then, that's not the end, okay? If it's the end, what will happen to your son next time? He will purposely drop the milk bottle so that he can play clouds with you again. That's how he got your attention. Okay? the story didn't end there. The mother followed it up. Now, how did you hold the bottle? Show me how you hold the bottle. So the son, with small hands, was holding at the broadside, but the hand was small, so it could easily slip up off his little hand. Okay? So the mother taught her, don't hold at the broadside, hold at the narrow side, and use two hands to hold the bottle. Say, son, you will never drop another bottle of milk again. Okay? So, and ask the son to practice a few times. Okay? So his son not only that knows that holding the bottles in the wrong way may drop the bottle, he also knows that even though he makes a mistake, her mother will always be there to assure her and to give him the assurance and the lessons that he can keep in his life, that he will not make the same mistake again. So it is important to assure the kid, otherwise they will always fight. That's why we always fight. Why do you always fight? What were we fighting for? Other than fighting for over things, we're fighting for attention, and we find that we always feel that our parents are not just, don't you think? The eldest one think that mother loves the smaller ones. The smaller ones think the parents love the elder ones. When we were growing up, do you think your father and mother was the most just person in the world? 最公平的有没有? Always feel that they are not fair. They always love. That's why the child in the middle is kind of like stuck, isn't it? You're not the eldest one. You're not the smallest one. You kind of always get what? Overlooked. Because, well, it's not as exciting as the first one, and the third one is coming, or maybe the fourth one is coming, so yeah, it's just kind of the intermediate. And it applies to courses also, you know. Level 1 courses are very exciting because we didn't know anything, so we go in. Then level 2, and you know there's a level 3, so level 2 is just what? Transitional. But you know level 3 is a matter of life and death. If you don't pass the level 3, you cannot get the cert. So the same one, you know that if it's your last child, how do you feel? You know that will be your last child. Again, you feel different. You said, okay, this is it. This is my last child. I'm not going to have another one. And you will also put a little bit of more attention on the last child. So being middle, that's how we should think, okay? If I am good to my elder brothers or sister, my younger ones, your younger brother and sister, they will follow me, right? So they will also be good to me. Okay? And by being good to my younger brothers or sisters, my elder brothers and sisters will learn from me that they should be good to the younger ones as well. So being the middle one, now the middle children usually become diplomats. And I find actually middle children, when they straighten up that jealousy part, they are the best social person. So if you are stuck in the middle, be glad. Because you didn't have all the attention, being the first and being the last. So you always have to juggling around, including pass me down. What are pass me down? Now, if you are the second or third one, you usually get the clothing from the first child and the first child, right? But by the time it gets to the third or the fourth one, maybe it's already worn out already. So they will get new ones. So what do you have to learn ever since you grew up? Forbearance means tolerance. 让啊. So you are the kind of person who can accept a lot of things which other people find it hard to accept. So when it comes to diplomacy, communication, you be the person. So be glad. Be happy about it. Elders, you are the leader, you got to lead the pack. And being the smallest, you got to be appreciative, all the protection, all the love you get from the elder ones. And being the ones in the middle, be glad because you are the diplomat of the family. Now you get to come out and be the true bridge maker of any difficult situation. So, but there's just one thing when we fight, we don't seem to be able to get over it, is money. Everything else, all this attention, all these, what we call possessions, we can fight and then forget about it, or disagreements. But this is the money part. So why does chapter 2 opens up with these lines? Okay? Older siblings should love and care for younger ones. Younger siblings should love and respect the older ones. Getting along well with one's siblings is a sign of respecting one's parents and caring that they are happy. Nothing will mean, as much to our parents as having children who can get along with each other. Emperor Tang Taizong, the second emperor of the Tang dynasty, his father was very upset because all the three brothers were fighting for the throne. And not only that they're fighting, they try to kill each other. So in the end, Taizong, being the second son, killed off the elder son and the third son. That means killed his elder brother and younger brother. Although we must say that Taizong was a very good, excellent emperor as far as emperor goes. Okay? But this episode actually caused his father great grief, because to the father, all are his children. Good or bad are his children. The same thing happened to Taizong himself. He also likes the second son. He didn't like the first son. Okay? And it was his wife who said, you must make the elder son as the prince. Otherwise, the country will run into chaos. Okay? So, but he didn't like it. So later on, when his son started to fight and quarrel for and fight toward the throne, he felt exactly the same thing that his father had felt. That he was very upset because brothers were fighting. So the one thing we learn in life, nothing is more important than our brothers and sisters, because we were born from the same bloodline, and they were the people who know us much better than other people. Okay, faces that other people will not see, you will show it to them, and vice versa. Okay? And in sickness or in health, we all went through thick and thin, in the family. So in order to maintain that relationship, I think we have the sense of respect for each other. Okay. With this sense of respect, from the older ones, we protect the younger ones, and the younger ones, we respect the older ones. So there's also protection, nurturing in the element as well. And especially when we can get along with each other, our parents will feel very, very happy. That will make our parents very, very happy. And I remember being a vegetarian. Every Chinese New Year when I went home, Mom would try to please everybody. So she would cook some vegetarian dishes and then some meat dishes, so that everyone could sit together on the same table. And she will also know that if I'm not around, then she didn't need to cook vegetarian dishes. And when I went home, then she would definitely cook some vegetarian dishes. And I did not force everybody to be vegetarian. What happens if you try to force everybody to be vegetarian? We will not speak to each other anymore. Right? So it takes time. Now they know that when I'm around, they all will take vegetarian dishes, no more meat dishes. Okay? And if they really want to have meat dishes, they will make sure that they will have vegetarian dishes for me or other siblings who are vegetarian. So we learn to tolerate each other. So I say my family is a real united nation. It's religious harmony. We have a Catholic, Protestant, Buddhist, Taoist, and including Yi Guan Dao. Yi Guan Dao is is a kind of folk beliefs. And I also have atheist. Atheist means people who don't believe in God or religions. And yeah, we will always, sometimes we joke that 还有睡觉. 睡觉 means those who like to sleep. So we have 佛教、天主教、基督教、一贯道，还有不相信的，有睡觉的都有。But we get along with each other. Being big family, and we learn how to respect each other's and have the line. Right? Even though sometimes we poke at the other person's religion. Yeah, what kind of religion is yours? What did they talk about? Filial piety. Then we start to talk about, there's a father in heaven, but that father is even from our father. So we start. So we have an agreement that do not talk politics and religions over dinner table. We still be one big happy family. But yeah, it was quite interesting to talk about this, and yet it's important that we stay together. Because it will make our parents really, feel very happy about it. And I know that if we ever quarrel or not talk to each other, I found my mom very sad. She was very sad when, one of my sisters quarreled with the other, brothers, and there were some family squabblings, and they said they won't talk to each other anymore. That really upset my mom. I think it would be for yours too. If you ever say to your mom, I will never talk to brother what or sister what again, even though they may not say it, but actually it hurt them a lot because all of you are his children. So what are the things that could help us to withhold, this assurance of love for each other, the forbearance for each other's faults, and respect for each other? Okay? The 69 and 72 actually are the key points, actually the main key points in this chapter. When siblings value family ties more than possessions, resentment will not arise. This is very important because when brothers and sisters fight and they could not forgive each other, sometimes it's because of money. Mostly, not necessarily every time, but mostly because of money. So when you want to borrow money to your siblings, do you expect them to return to you? You do? But there's a rule of thumb. As far as siblings goes, if you don't have enough money to survive, you better not loan money to them. Loan money to them. Because be prepared that they may not return to you. And if you want to stay as their brothers and sisters, be prepared that even though they don't return the money to you, it's okay with you. You will still alive, you won't go to starve, your children can't go to school, you have to mortgage your house, sell the houses, stuff like that. Okay? And what this passage telling us is that, it not only applies to siblings, it's just that we start from sibling. Now we start from sibling to friends. If a friend ever come to you and ask you to loan him some money, you got to think about this, okay? What happens if he doesn't return you the money? Will you still be his friend? If you say to yourself, if he borrows me money and if he doesn't return the money to me, I'm not going to be his friend. Now if you think like that, you better not loan him money. Otherwise, you will lose a friend. Right? Secondly, if he doesn't return the money to you, would you suffer? Meaning that, just like what I said, you can't pay the school tuition fees, you cannot pay your phone bills, you cannot pay for your petrols, all these bill things. But if you feel that you can, then you borrow him, you loan him the money. Okay, because there's always a risk that somebody will not return you the money. So if you want to keep the relationship and you want to keep, yourself economically sound, think about those two factors before we loan money. Then you'll be a happy person. Okay? And you loan the money because you know that he really needs it. Okay, to solve some problems. Okay, so and this word "fen," it doesn't use "qi," but instead in Chinese it's used "fen." This is interesting. Actually, it's put from two words: "fen xing." That means your heart is separated, divided. Now, this "fen" is different from this "fen." Although they both denote anger. They both pronounced as "fen." For this "fen," this anger comes from a mindset that is impetuous, that means impatient. What we call it's actually you are impatient, you are short of tolerance. That type of anger is called "fen." Whereas this one is all of that, you have resentment, you have complaints, all this will cause. But especially for this one, it's caused by an impetuous mindset because of your impetuosity. That means because of your impatient people. Okay? And where do we show these two things? In our speech. We always hurt the other person with what we say. Okay? So think about the things that we say that hurt people. One day, the sister came home and she looked around for things that was owned by herself. She used to put the things in mom's house. So after she got married, she came home to visit, and then she started to look around for things that once belonged to her when she was a little girl. So she was looking around, taking things out, looking at it, and was thinking of whether she should bring it home with her. Then her brother said, "Hey, you come home to steal things, 偷嘢啊，你返嚟." So did it hurt the sister? Yes, it hurt the sister very much. They look at him, she couldn't say a word. Sharp words like this are like what? Are like a knife that can kill without drawing blood. It is that bad, it's like, ugh. There's a knife stick through your heart, but you can't see the blood, but actually it's already pain all over. And to heal this kind of wound is not easy. Because this brother, actually that was just an incident, but of course, why did it hurt so much? Because that brother always insinuate other members of the family will come back and steal the mother's things. So it hurt people that way. Right? So don't insinuate people are stealing your things. And I also remember three sisters, coincidentally, all three of them have babies around the same time. So one of the elder sisters came from another country, and she didn't have time to buy the milk powder yet. So she took the third sister's milk powder, and the third sister was very angry, saying, "Who stole my milk powder?" 邊個偷我啲奶粉? And then the second sister, she didn't think it was quite nice because she was also from that country, so she thought that wasn't a nice thing to say. But it hit the elder sister the most because she just came back from another country. It's a long distance, and she wasn't used to the exchange yet. And then there, the third sister said, "你偷我奶粉." And then they started to yell at each other, scream at each other, all because of what? 2匙羹奶粉 2 tablespoons of milk powder 2 tablespoons of milk powder. Nobody likes to be being accused as a thief, especially if he has dignity. Nobody likes to be called 你係賊啊，你偷嘢. Nobody likes to be called that, especially when they are not. Okay? Of course, that's why 弟子规 said, 用人勿须明求. Before you take somebody things, what? You ask for permission. But the problem with brothers and sisters and with our parents is that we just take each other for granted. Now you go home, you go to the fridge and you take things out to eat. Did you ask your mom, "Excuse me, mom, can I take an orange from the fridge?" We never, right? "Excuse me, mom, I would like to use the soup. Can I?" No. You are what? Family. We are family. So we usually don't ask about that sort of thing. Okay? So we take each other for granted. So we must understand that people come to your house, they treat as if they are family. Just make them feel like what? Anything you see in the fridge, help yourself. Anything you see on the table, help yourself. Okay? Anything you want, just let me know. Let them feel like you are a family. And don't make people like, remember, somebody visiting his sister and his brother-in-law. Then she took a cup and then put the water in and then drank it. And then suddenly he saw his brother-in-law and said, "Why did you use my cup? That's my cup." That means that is the cup that he used to always use, except he doesn't have the name on it. So this make this guy feel really what? Really bad lah. You should just don't let him know, okay? That, then let him drink first, and you can crack a joke about it. "Well, you're using my cup. Hey, that's great. I hope I don't have tuberculosis. I won't pass it to you." Then you kind of soften it up and say, "Hey, that's my cup. You should not use my cup." So the brother-in-law didn't know that was your brother-in-law's. Your cup. His sister didn't tell him that it was the brother-in-law's cup. Okay? So from the speech, always be kind, always be a little bit more understanding. And don't accuse it because you are impatient and you always have this what we call me, this ego. Let's talk a little bit further on anger, ill temper. And I find vocabularies to describe a person's anger, there are actually quite a few. Why? Because this is very easily, it's morose. Isn't it morose, huh? Ill temper and angry. And then we have, of course, anger. Then we also have that called bad temper, flare, dismal, Dismount in the sense that I'm not satisfied with people, I'm not happy with people. Therefore, I show that. Right? I show a sullen face. Because I'm not happy, I show my sullen face to people. That means keep away from me or you die. That kind of face, showing people, I'm not a nice person, okay? Very cold, very angry. So, where did this come from? This angry. Let's say, put it very. Now, when we get angry, what is the first thing that causes us to be angry? What's the reason behind this angry? I think the large part of it is ego. Ego means me first. So what is this me first? I feel that I'm more superior. All stem from I, okay? I am more superior. I am better. I am higher. The status. And even what? I am taller. I have bigger eyes. I'm more beautiful. I am smarter. Everything is me, 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 me. Everything you put in there, I'm smarter. I'm prettier. I am faster. And what else? I am more understanding. I understand you so much, why don't you understand me? Even understand there's competition. Hey, I am more understanding. I am more hardworking. I am so hardworking, why are you so lazy? I'm more hardworking. What else? Everything. Really. If you have nice hair, you say, I have nicer hair. Everything. As long as you feel that you are higher, you are superior, you are better, you will have this kind of very easily, you get what? Angry. Because other people cannot match up to you. Come and think about it, it's quite silly, isn't it? Why do you want to find someone who can match you? Now, you can't stand someone who is better than you. You can't stand somebody who is lower than you. So you can only find someone equal to you. But there's already one you, why do you need to find another one? Don't you clash all the time? How does fight begin? Fights always begin between two equals. You're almost as smart as me, you're almost as good as me. If the difference is too different, normally there won't be fight. Why is that to fight? Now, when he feels that somebody else is more superior than him, he will not dare to show his arrogance, because that person will put him at his right place. It's only when we feel that the others are below us, then only we will feel angry. But you say, no, I'm being accused. 我被人冤枉㗎. And I have nothing to, think I am better. What about this accused? What happened when we are being accused? Mr. Miyata, I said, the fact that you have not been here for so long, that means you are lazy. Yes. You see, yes, why? Because he admitted. He doesn't feel that no, I am wrong. You know what I'm saying? If he feels that I am wrong, he definitely will not give me that answer. Because you think I'm right? Because you think I'm right? Okay, now, how come you didn't come last week? You slack off, I said, Why do you say that? I was very busy. I had something else to do. Actually, I like to come, but there was something else that hang me up, right? You wouldn't say yes, would you? Yeah, you won't say yes. Right. So when you're so willing to say yes, because I accept the other person, this level thing. But Now, you won't accept it, right? Now, she's thinking, okay? Okay, tell me why you won't accept it.
It's just I find that sometimes you just don't want to argue. You just think that it's not worth arguing, even if the person accused you something which you didn't do. You just don't find it worth the time to argue with the person. So you just follow and just make peace.
It's not worth arguing anymore. Why? Because it's not worth. It's too what? Yeah, it's not worth arguing with him. So you distance yourself. You see what I'm saying? You distance yourself. Now, when for instance, the gentleman say yes, then I have to stop, right? I can't say, you're lying. You're not telling the truth. I have to stop because he say very sincerely. But the next time, the next one I will say, so what are you going to do about your laziness? Cannot let him just go like that. Right? But this is just an example, okay? So every time we argue, because we think what? There is room to argue. When there's no room to argue, you don't let that room to happen, you won't argue. So that you say, it's not worth arguing. Why it's not worth arguing? It's very, what we call it, when we argue, you will find that we actually argue on the same level. One does not go up. Two people argue because you are being entwined in the same situation. I better take this, use an example. Why do I argue with people? When I say somebody is very arrogant, okay, I told him, you are a younger person, you shouldn't yell at the elders. And she said, no, I didn't. I didn't yell at them. I didn't at all. You're accusing me. I said, well, I did not accuse you because 3 other people have seen it, and this is not the first time you have shown it. And she said, they don't yell at me, they misunderstood me. I wasn't like that. I was because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. Okay? So at that time, I was a little bit what? Was getting angry too. Why are you, keep on thinking that everybody else is wrong and you are right? But when I see, that person coming in so strong, I knew that I could not say anything more. So if you ever have somebody told you, it's not that I don't want to tell you the truth, it's just that you cannot accept the truth. You would rather hear lies. So, I'm telling you lies. So don't come in too strong, okay? Because when you come in too strong, people will just shut themselves up because there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can say that can penetrate the wall. So they say that a soft woman will have more fortune. 溫柔嘅女人比較有福啊。Why? Because she would what? Listen, and listen. Okay, listen first before argue. You get the space, enlarge the space. Okay. Otherwise, you will fight and fight and fight. The more I say that person is wrong, the more that person counteract. Okay. I say, okay, fine. Everybody else is wrong except you. Oh, that's fine. I hope you will find a way, later on to solve your problem. And that person has to add in a last statement, oh, don't worry, I'm different from others. Now, I remember when I had a very good friend plus a technician who used to fix up my computer. That was the first time he fell in love, but the first time didn't quite work out. And he was gung-ho that this woman was the love of her life. And I said, well, no, this is not the right woman for you. You shouldn't make yourself like that because she's not suitable for you. He said, no, that's just it. She is. I said, well, can you sort of calm yourself down and think further? She may not be the right person. So I didn't hear from him for a while. Then he called me up and said, oh, I'm seeing another girl right now. I said, well, that's good for you, but you got to remember, okay, life is suffering. You got to remember, I'm a Buddhist, okay? I kept saying life is suffering. We never depart ourselves from suffering. We have to face a lot of, challenges in life. And so we say, don't worry, you know, I'm prepared to face the consequences. I'm prepared to hold and work very hard and to be a family man and so on. I say, well, there's no more point in giving him advice. I say, that's good. You should jump into the ocean. Because if you don't jump, you never know how it feels. 我说你跳了没关系，跳。Okay, we will be ready the safety, not safety belt, what do you call it? The float. Okay, the lifesaver. Don't worry, okay? Try it, because if you don't try it, you never know. Right? And you will never be happy. And lo and behold, he got married and he got a daughter, and now I think a second son. And he has to work very hard, unlike his before. He was so relevant in computer that his mother had to bring up the rice for him and start feeding him. He was already 20 years old, 20 plus years old. And now he's a father, he's a father. And he said, you know what, marriage is not easy. Well, I said, I told you so, but I refrain from saying that. I love to say that, but no. Never say I told you so. It's very bad. So even though if your children or your parents have made mistakes and then they wanted to change, or they tell you that, they make the mistake, please hold back the 3 words. I told you, 4 words, I told you so. Okay? Don't say that, I said that's good. Okay? So everything stems from, I think, me. If you put that me down, okay, I am right, and therefore I am going to prove to you that you are wrong. Okay. Sometimes it's not that it's not worth it, it's just because he won't listen to the truth. And some people cannot handle the truth, really. The truth is too cruel for them, so they cannot handle the truth. So you got to let them lead the way they are going to walk, and let them maybe hit the wall, get a few lessons, and maybe that's the only way. Okay. But reassure that don't worry about you nagging them, because one day when they come back to their senses, they will say, I should have listened to my mom. I should listen to my mom, I should listen to my dad. Okay? So whenever we have this me first, why didn't he do it for me? Okay, why didn't he follow my words? Why didn't he listen to me? I am smarter, I am better. As soon as we have this thinking, nobody else can accuse you or say anything or make comments to you. And in fact, you'll be so fed up that you will just brush everything off. Let's say if you try to give somebody else an advice, and that person turns around and says some bad things about you, okay, and somebody else mentioned it to you, and then you start to get very angry. Why? Because you feel that I am such a nice person to have given that person an advice, and that person turned around and said bad things about me. See, I am a nice person. People say bad about this nice person, so this nice person is very angry. So this nice person turned around and decided not to be nice anymore. And this nice person said, from now on, I will never help anybody. You see, from one person to I will never help anybody. Why? Because his eye is too big. His eye is too big, cannot take any accusations. Because I am so nice. How come you say I'm not nice? Nice or not nice is not decided by us. It's decided by somebody else's perception. The power of perception. That's why do we want to get angry? It's actually kind of funny. Perception. Okay. Our perception not only comes from our eyes, okay, we'll talk 6 senses, okay? Senses. It can also be affected by experience or our aspirations. That means what would you want to be? Now, there's no painting here. Okay. When you walk into this classroom, we call it classroom, you saw these lotus, flowers. Okay, I'm going to ask each of you what you think of this. Okay. Let's start from Hai Yi. Oh, you see this, and this. What do you think? She being the youngest person here. Now, don't analyze. Usually, analyze are not your true feeling. What does Miss Song wants me? Let me see. Every day I listen to her class. Maybe she wants this answer. No. I don't want this kind. I want you exactly raw materials. No Photoshop.
My first impression is that
added new stuff to the classroom. Okay. Make the board looks livelier. Okay. First impression. Okay. So, what is your second impression as you look further, deeper?
I think I stop right there.
You stop right there, right? Okay. Thank you. Now, how about older person? Yeah, Jen. You look at these flowers.
At first, I found it very disturbing.
Okay, why do you find them disturbing?
Because supposed to, I don't know why suddenly got flower then it distract me
One say it's a very nice addition, and Jan feels that it's very distracting.
Because I always look at the lotus and then I would think other thing,
Okay, what do you think when you saw lotus?
Of course the lotus is very good. I like lotus, so it will be quite peace in my mind, but it's distracting away from the thing when you start talking. You're writing and then sometimes I look at there.
So somebody else's addition is actually a distraction on your part. It distracts you away from the speaker and the writing. Okay, great. Age does make a difference. Okay, do you see like anything? Lily? The person is very creative.
Yeah, it's nice. I find it's nice. The board doesn't look so plain.
The board doesn't look so plain. They are nice, decorative to the board.
Yeah.
Okay. Some people are indifferent. I don't see any different whether they are flowers or no flowers. They are a board to me. Okay. Anybody else has different impression? Yes.
我觉得这个是装饰品
A decoration.
like frame 就是这样子。
That's just framing it, the decoration, right? Okay, now, thank you. So you see, different people see things differently. For some people, they're just decorations. To some people, they are distractions. And to some of our colleagues, they came in and said, "Oh, lotus, closer to Pure Land." It's good, remind them then to go to Pure Land, their belief in Pure Land. And then an artist will come in and say, "What a horrible looking lotus they are." And the leaves are not drawn properly, not colored in properly. Then someone come in, will look at it, they're just piece of colored papers. See how our perception to us? Then let's say, I am the artist. I heard all this, I start to feel very, very upset. None of you are appreciating my art. Can't you see this? They show us the aspiring, the aspiring wish. And this show is in full bloom. You know, this is the future, this is the present. And the leaf shows what? The hopes, because without the leaves, without the roots, nothing will come out. That is 弟子规. You see, I can put all kinds of imagination in your mind. Okay. So as in life also the same thing. Then you happen to disagree. So Jan may stand up and say, no lah, I know all these good things, but still, can you take them out? I agree with you, they're very nice, but I feel you should take them out. Why? Don't you think it's nice? Oh, I'm sure it's nice, but it's better to take them out because they distract me. But nobody else wants to take them out. Why do you want to take them out? Well, I just think that they are distracting. So take out, not take out, take out, not take out. Then we can argue over and over again. Then we say, but since most people think it's all right, actually, they were done for the children. They were done for the children's class. Okay? So I explained to you, they were actually done for the children's class, by the teachers. Okay? Actually, hopefully they can draw the lotus leaves better. So ask them to draw the lotus leaves better, maybe they can be better. And they will see the board in an entire different light. So guide them to other aspects. Instead of take out, not take out, take out, not take out. But instead, draw them to appreciate, the meaning and so on. Okay? So we stop, I am right. But if I insist I am right, okay, even though it's actually not so nice, okay, so this me, we got to get it out. If we don't have this me, that we will not be what we call 傲慢 or full of ourselves. So full of ourselves. We think we are right all the time. Especially when we talk to children. Children's minds are very kind of, can be unfocused. So you got to know that they are wandering around. We help them to focus their mind a little bit. Okay? And if they find that they keep on asking you questions, so before you give them quick answer, why not slow down a bit and answer one question at a time, instead of letting them ask for the sake of asking. They're asking why. You see, you give all the answers and then he only reply a why. He is a very smart boy, very smart girl, isn't it? So instead of he why, you can say, well, what do you think? You ask him back. You think mom is unreasonable? If you think if mom does not buy you that expensive, electronic gadget you want, you give me the reason why I have to buy it for you. And if he said, oh, all my friends has it. All my friends has it. So then if you say, all your friends has it, does it mean that you have to have it too? And if you have it, what do you want to use it for? And then he'll tell you, I want WeChat, Line, WhatsApp, Tango, Talk, and all these things. But do you really need them? You'll be a very busy boy. All these line, tung, 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 bubble coming up everywhere. Okay? So you don't need that. You just need to make a call, receive messages. Then your life is one happy life that you can last for a long, long time. Okay? So you don't have to keep on being dragged into things and you start to have the argument. Now also think about, what do you argue? We all have a button, what we call a button. Okay? If somebody were to press the button, you will, what happen? You will explode. So find that button. All of us has that button. What is your button? Mr. Lee, what is your button?
When being accused of something.
When you are being accused of something. Okay, so yeah, that is the button. So when you are that kind of person, hate to be accused, first of all, calm yourself down first. Okay, first of all, listen to the accusation. And then explain calmly. Nothing defeats the purpose if we are not calm. Okay, so always maintain a calmness. So how do we attain an immediate calmness? I find breathing very useful. Breathing. Sometimes we don't breathe properly. Do you know you don't breathe? It's hard to remember, think about, isn't it? Okay, how long do you think you can hold your breath? 1 minute? That's already very good. You try it? Okay, let's try it, okay? Let's try to hold our breath for 1 minute. But if you're ready, you cannot release, okay? I don't want to explode, okay? Okay, ready? Okay, you can laugh first. Laugh all you want first. I don't want you to explode. Okay, when you finish laughing, then we'll see, okay, whether we can hold for 1 minute or not. Mine's better. Okay, ready? Go. Three gone. Oh, those are gone so soon. 5 more seconds. Anybody else still holding? Okay. How many managed 1 minute? Only 3, right? Yeah, because we don't breathe deeply. So 1 minute, you can't hold 1 minute. So learn to breathe very deeply. Take a deep breath. Okay, take a deep breath, and the doctor told us our shoulder, every of our posture is strong. He said, now we sit with our shoulder like this. We sit in front of the computer all the time, right? He said, this is how you sit. He said, I sit like this. He said, what's wrong with it? Okay, now, I didn't know it at all. He said, I sit like this. Now see. He said, first of all, look at your shoulder. It's up, okay? It's up. It shouldn't be up. Our shoulder shouldn't be up. When it's up, everything's here, hands up. And you say, look at your chest. Is it open or is it kind of like straight? And then you say, look at your hands. Take your hands to this for hours and hours. Look at your whole body, and then you take your neck like this. How to think about it? I look like Frankenstein. That's how I look like Frankenstein. And then you slouch. And then the legs start to what? Wobble here, wobble there. It's all wrong. Okay, first of all, the chest. We should not compress the chest. We should let it be brought. Okay, so it's like this. And then the shoulder, let it droop naturally like this. And the chin should tuck in, not like this. What happens like this is, you see, the umbilical cord contains a lot of nerves. Nerves run through that. And you are what? Suppressing it. That's why you get neck sore all the time. And when it gets tense up here, it affects everything here. And we could sit hours. And what happens to the eyes also? We don't go up, down, left, right to exercise our eyes. So we keep just staring at the same spot all the time. So, the blood, doesn't circulate properly. You get red eyes. We got tense muscles. And another thing of reaching our health is that you spread out your arms. When every part of it is tense up and we don't move our legs, the kidney starts stiffen up, and we sleep late. Not many of us can sleep by 10 o'clock, right? At night. I don't think anybody does. So we're burning up the liver energy. We're not having the kidney, we're not having the legs or exercise. Can you afford not to be angry? Yeah, because everything is so tense up already. Look at us. Always a boy. So that's every time Dr. Chung said, all of you are slouching. Then you walk, and then you walk. It wasn't that bad. Or so with the chin has to tuck in. Like that. So there are reasons why you are being angry. How about the food? Will it make you angry? Not only the psychology, it's actually food also can affect us. Our lack of exercise can affect us. So if you are a very angry person, bet you don't exercise at home. Okay? And your eating habit. Okay, and eating habit. Do you eat properly or you always eat spicy food? Spicy food, sour food, sweet food, you get sugar rush. And all this can make you into a very impetuous person. And your sleeping pattern. If you sleep late and rise up late, you also have very bad temper. Do you have any other things other than your job? Do you listen to music? Do you sing? It's good to sing. I remember in the older days we always sing in the bathroom. I don't think people do it nowadays. Do you do? It's good to sing in the bathroom. I got a bathroom singer. Okay? Now you sing in the bathroom, it's good to sing it out, or listen to some nice songs, nice music, go and do some exercise. Okay, read some good books. It's very important, good books. If you have some good books, help you to actually understand life better. Now, I will be giving you a note, a handout on the siblings poem. You can go home and read it. We're going to study this next week. As part of our literary discovery, exploration, we must kind of be more and more cultured and become more and more cultured instead of looking at our children and don't know what to say to them. Your children will be so surprised that my mom has become so cultured. And there are things that you can share about. Okay, with that, I will end my sharing here. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.